All right, well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting day in mathematics. Whoop, whoop. How's everybody doing? Good? All right, warm-up 107's on the screen. We don't need Chromebooks today. We're on a detox of our tech. So warm-up 107's on the screen. Let's get started, please. Focus, people, focus. That shouldn't take you long. Once again, we are on our tech detox. You don't need any electronic devices, just your calculator. All right, so mu 31.1, variance 81.7, standard deviation is 29.69, and add that to that, so we are at 60.79. And on the other end, we are at 1.41. All right, we need a z-score for Q1. Turn to your neighbor and know what Q1 is from that data. What is Q1? All right, pass them one. Santi, z-score. Negative 0.78. And that should be somewhere over here. Hands if you got something like that. All right. So, and the range, of course, we know it's the greatest from the smallest, so that is 78. All right. We good? All right, copy the agenda, please. Warm-up 107, discrete probability distribution. And tonight's home plate, at least and at most, 2 problems of each. I mean, 2 problems including that. And you'll see today in regards to what we're adding to that. Okay? Yeah, we're going to see that today. TC8, L6 TC8 to answer to access your home play for tonight. All right, good. All right, get a Cornell note going, please. I can define and compute discrete probability distribution. I can define and compute discrete probability distribution. All right, so we're in the middle of probability distribution. We already are experts at probability. We know the different types. We talked about discrete versus continuous. We talked about probability distribution and what's so specific about that, because they add up all the probabilities equal to 1. And then we talked about the formulas. Remind your neighbor about the mean formula for probability distribution without looking at your notes. Formula. All right, pretty good. It's the sum of x times p of x. Then the other ones are right there. And it brought us to the binomial distribution. And we called the binomial distribution because it has how many outcomes? 2. All right. Which brings us to today. So writing utensils down, look up to the screen. Let's say I gave you the data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. But if I said at least 7, what do I mean from that data? Talking over your neighbor. What do I mean when I say at least 7 from that data? What do I mean? All right, let's see. What do I mean? Santi, pass them one. Who? Mel. At least 7 means what? What is it? I can't hear. 7 and what? At least 7. Brandon, help her out. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Hands if you agree with that. What? Oh, that's what you said? Oh, okay, sorry. All right, good. Therefore, tell your neighbor what at most 7 means. What does at most 7? Brandon, pass him one. Cole. Everything below 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That is correct. Keep that in mind because we're going to use that for the next problem. Copy this one, please. Example Q. A survey found that 1 out of 5 Americans say he or she has visited a doctor in any given month. If 10 people are selected at random, find the probability that at least 9 will have visited a doctor last month. I'll give you time to copy that, and we'll do that one together. All right, as you're finishing copying that, on the side, let's write the information that we need. We need N. We need X. We need P. And we need Q. So it reads, a survey found that 1 out of 5 Americans says he or she has visited his doctor at any given month. So, where do we write that? Tell your neighbor, please. Where do we write 1 out of 5? All right. Cole, pass someone. P, that is correct. 1 out of 5. However, in decimal form, that's 0.2. Write that in there, please. 0.2. Therefore, with that, tell your neighbor what Q is. Q is me. Let's go. Brandon, pass someone. Max. 0.8. He went straight to the decimal. All right. Which is 4/5. Very good. And everyone, what is N? 10. However, look at this one. This one's a little bit different from what we did yesterday and the day before. Yesterday and the day before, it said exactly a number. But now it says what? At least 9. Tell your neighbor what that means. What does that mean? Which is what, everyone? 9, comma, and 10. That's our X. Therefore, what are we focusing on, Mr. Q? We're focusing on P of 9, and then we're going to add whatever we get from that to P of 10. That is correct. All right, so let's do this one together. Here we go. P of 9 equals factorial times all right, so X is 9. Substitute X for all the formula. Oh, instead of X, we are writing 9. Here we go. 9. And then we got 9. Then we got 9. And then we got 9. All right. We got 10, 10, and 10. And then we got P, which is 0.2. And Q is 0.8. All right. P of 9 equals 10 factorial over 1 factorial, 9 factorial, times 0.2 to the 9th. Calculators calculate. What is 0.2 to the 9th power? Got it? Calculators. 0.000 what? How many zeros? 6. And then 512. Okay. Times 0.8 to the 10 minus 9 is 1, so that's still 0.8 to the first power. All right, so P of 9 is 10 times 9 factorial over 1 factorial 9 factorial times 0.00000512 times 0.8. This cancels, so at the end we're left with 10 times 0.123456512 times 0.8. And that magic number is all right. Got that number? Point zero 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 what? Huh? Okay, so you guys have the calculators. 5 zeros, 409696. All right. So we got P of 9. Find me P of 10. So X is 10. That goes here. That goes here. That goes here. N is 10. Oh. 0.2 and 0.8. All right, let's see. What is 0.2 to the 10th power? 0.0000 or 6 zeros to the what? 1024? 1024. And then 8 to the 0 power, because 10 minus 10 is 0, is 1. So P of 10 equals 10 factorial, and 10 factorial just becomes a 1. So it's 1 times 0.0000001024 times 1. Well, it's all that. So, What do we do at the end? That plus that. So add that up, please. P of 9 plus P of 10 is equal to I think it's 5 zeros, I believe. So you're adding this one with this one, and that gives us, Max, what you get? One what? 984. Woo, that's a lot of work. There you go. From 1 to 5, how come to argue with that? Yeah, it's just computation, yes? All right. Not bad. Now check this out. Look up. Look at this one. Tell your neighbor what at most 3 means. At most 3. That means that our x would be what? Tell your neighbor, what is our x for that one? At most 3. Sam, what does at most 3 mean? 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, and in this case we include 0 because 0 factorial is what, everyone? 1. That is correct. So make sure you include 0 with those. So I'm not going to have you do another one like this. I am going to have you work on the home plate. There you go. So if you want to team up with someone, divvy up the work.